If there would be one stock and one stock only that you could hold forever and no changes to be applied to your portfolio, if I guess which stock you would choose, you are absolutely mandatory smashing and destroying the like button. And let me guess, the stock begins with T and ends with Tesla. Now, happy Sunday and welcome to Tesla Sundays. To give you the full lineup of today's topic for Tesla Sundays, we will talk about the stock. We will talk about what Elon Musk thinks you should think of Tesla, how it is inside Tesla. Then we will talk about Amazon's purchase of ZOOX, a startup for self-driving cars. Then we will talk about the 15th of September, a very big day for your Tesla calendar. Then we will talk about the project Roadrunner, as well as the big Mercedes and Nvidia partnership, and if this will be some kind of big competition coming up about the Tesla horizon. So I'm very excited about this episode. If you are too, show it to me in the comments below and let's go. If we are looking into Tesla's week movement of the stock, then you can see that the whole week, the first 3 days, actually was no big movement anyway. And then we a little bit moved from the $1,000 mark to about 948 and then back up. Over and all, I would say that we didn't have big news. I think everybody is now in the very chilled position on the back seat and think that let us see how the Q2 will be. Let us see the numbers and then let's decide if we're buying more Tesla shares or not. The overall market is also not really quite moving in the one or the other direction. So all in all, we see side movements also for Tesla stock. I think important for building a resistance, it's important to hold the $1,000 mark. If you want to have the full technical or more technical analysis of Tesla stock, tune in on tonight's live stream as of this channel. If you're not subscribed, make it now, and also don't forget to ring the bell to get all the notifications for live streams, for vlogs, for breaking news, and you will be all covered. Elon Musk just tweeted on his Twitter account that how you should perceive Tesla, and he's saying that you should understand Tesla as a company as it would consist of a dozen of small startups. And this is something that got me thinking. Now, this is very typical for successful companies because they split the tasks in very small groups and they let it run. Because why you should get the best people that you can find and tell them what to do rather than put them in small groups, let them work as they like, give them tasks, give them deadlines, and they should come up with solutions to the problems and develop the best what Tesla teams can come up with. And this happens also with the chip. I remember when they talked about the self-driving hardware that they developed, where they said to Elon Musk, are you sure that you want to spend billions of dollars to develop this own chip? And he said, do we get the very best chip ever? And he would say most probably yes. And then he said yes, then let's go ahead. So as you can see, this is always a risk taking, right? Get the best people on board, put them together, let them work. And as you can see, Tesla has so many different projects: battery project, self-driving project, robotaxi project, gigafactory projects, right? There's so many different cool things that Tesla teams are working on, and therefore I believe this is something that you should know as Tesla investor. They're having a really great approach to making the next big company that will be out there on the stock market. ZOOX or ZOX is going to announce with Amazon. Most probably, if you're watching this, they maybe announced this already because this episode was recorded yesterday. So in this last 24 hours, maybe something happened already that was announced between Amazon and ZOX. It's the rumors from different sources like the Wall Street Journal that they are in advanced talks. Now, Amazon want to purchase ZOX. ZOX has a very big vision. They actually wanted to develop and produce and run a robo-taxi service. So bigger than any other self-driving service that is purely focused on that is ZOX visions quite massively, if you want to say this, right? What Amazon want to do with ZOX is not really quite clear. Do they want to use their technology for their warehousing? Do they want to use it for the delivery? Do they want to fusion it together with Rivian, a company for electric cars that Jeff Bezos is invested, or something totally different, right? Maybe they are planning an own robotaxi service. We never know. We know that Amazon can be quite aggressively into different kind of fields, especially in those new fields where they want to and feel there's huge potential. They likely to spread out their tentacles, and Amazon is going into that. Just imagine how cool would that be if you would have a self-driving service that is free of charge by Amazon, and it's kind of buses. It's super cheap because, you know, electric cars don't need maintenance. And those buses, you are actually on those buses, and those buses will bring you from A to B in the city for free, but you are watching Amazon advertising or Prime advertising on those buses. This would be really cool. I heard once that this can be the future. The future can be self-driving buses or public transport in cities where these buses could be by Starbucks, and you buying a coffee inside this bus, and therefore you ride this bus for free because it's so cheap, and with so many advancement into the electric car manufacturing and also in the operating, I think this can be very cheap because you don't need a driver, the maintenance costs are low, and battery costs are getting cheaper and cheaper. So you can imagine that maybe this is the master plan by Amazon, but we never know. Let's see if we know it for the next episode of Tesla Sundays. However, this is something that you definitely should put your eye on. Now finally, we have the date. 15th of October is now the tentative day, not only for the shareholder meeting, but also for the battery day, or part of the battery day. Now, we have waited so long for this date. Now, the main reason that it was pushed, obviously we are in the most severe health crisis ever, so things need to be adapted to timelines and calendar dates and so on. But also think about that, especially the end of the quarter. So right now, as of this moment, Tesla teams are working so hard to get numbers. And you can see that Tesla's CEO Elon Musk sending emails to have the Tesla teams to go all out because this is so important for the Tesla for the end of quarter. And on the other side, you see incentives for people to buying inventory, like for example 1 year free supercharging if you are buying a Tesla from the inventory. This is amazing, guys. This is the pure drive and passion we want to see at Tesla. We have seen it at Christmas time, we have seen it at actually at every end of quarter. And Elon Musk said this before, that he don't want to put any events just towards the end of quarters because there's so much else to do to finally hit the numbers. Though I don't think that this is his favorite thing to do, because he once said that, you know, would Tesla be a private company, they would not be in the stress of producing, you know, the numbers and meet targets and having like this pure data and delivering based pressure every 3 months, guys. But you know, on the other side, you would not get so much access to cash and funds like on the public market. So it's like a win-win situation, right? And on the other side, I think if you have this kind of deadlines, that's absolutely fantastic, because then you can put, if people having something to work towards, like with dates, I think this is more easily approachable than, having open timelines with finance, sales, and all the other compartments of Tesla. The Tesla want to vertically integrate the battery production. This is nothing new. It was always a rumor, the Roadrunner project. Now the Roadrunner is maybe this fantastic comic figure that was always the superstar in my childhood. Now it's the code name for maybe the biggest step in Tesla's history so far. Now we get a more detailed look into what's happening. So they had to apply for some permissions for their Fremont factory for the second floor, where they want to start with the Roadrunner project, and we know that they want to produce their own battery cells. Moreover, we know now that they want to operate this with 24 hours every single day, no stop, for Project Roadrunner, for the building of battery cells. So this is huge, guys. This means that Tesla actually planned something very big, guys, and this will be starting small and getting bigger and bigger, and will be also copied to Shanghai Gigafactory for sure at one point. And what is also interesting, that the whole shift that will be always on the spot on Roadrunner project will be a shift of 100 people. So you can imagine the scale of this. There's startups that having 100 people working, but 100 people working at the same time, always at the battery cell production. Moreover, there will be between 300 to 400 people, working in different shifts. So you can see how big this can be and will be, and therefore I believe this is something also very interesting to watch, and most probably will be announced on the 15th of September. So Nvidia is doing self-driving technology and doing also hardware for self-driving technology, but also they are in the business of interior or user experience inside cars, in the infotainment system, powering the most advanced infotainment system out there. Now, Mercedes already using some of Nvidia stuff for their car, but now they joined a big partnership for self-driving. And what you actually need to know, well, they want to put, a ready, fully functioning self-driving product 2024. So by that time, I think Tesla maybe will have already flying cars. So therefore, you see how this partnership is absolutely torn apart on Tesla forums, on Reddit, on all different Tesla fans come together in communities that they are laughing about. But I think, you never forget that Mercedes is building really great cars. They will have a huge challenges ahead, so I'm really concerned how they want to solve those, but it will be super interesting to see. On the other side, Nvidia needs to have a good partner in the automobile world to really get to the next level, and both together, if they can bring something that is working, why not, right? So we need to see development into this area, because also those companies will fight for governmental self-driving guidelines, which will also help Tesla in some perspective.